Championship jacket right here. I'll brag a little bit. It's the 25th anniversary, and super excited about it. But thank you so much for that introduction, and thanks everyone for being here today. I'm a coach, so I'm gonna try to be tough, but I might shed some tears. Bill saw something in me I did not see in myself. Inspired by his daughter. Katie, if it wasn't for you, he wouldn't have looked at me. He knew that there was something about me when I was a player at Christopher Newport University. I was only 21 years old. And he took a chance to give me a head women's basketball job with no experience. No experience. Y'all, are you comprehending that? Okay, at a male-dominated school, I am the 5th generation coming into the apprentice school, so you put on hard hats, steel-toe shoes, you name it. You know, it's not easy, it's tough. But let me just share a few things why I think that when I look at my legacy, I'm because of him. He's my hero for life. And so I'm gonna back this up a little bit. Well, let me just say this. Recently, I wrote a book, and it ended up being a top seller. Marty O'Brien, Hall of Fame sports editor in the area, sat down with me, and to know a little bit about me, I'm kind of hard-headed, okay? But I'm a competitor, and that's what Bill saw in me. And this book is inspired by Bill. It ended up being a top seller, like I said, international, 6 different countries in the US, motivational, self-help, everything. But my last name's Barefoot. I got a cool name, I know that. But inspired by Bill to be brave and bold. And barefoot is the steps. He gave me the blueprint, the championship of what it takes. So, hired at 22 years old, I was gonna play professional in Sweden, but I turned it down. I met with Bill at the apprentice school. He talks about this tremendous opportunity. And he's like, listen, we'll start it from scratch. We'll do, we'll get your standards together, but I need you to first talk about your philosophy. I said, Bill, I don't have no experience. Play ball, I'm not sure right now. He goes, no, let's sit down for a minute and let's talk about it. But first, let me give you an offer. And I said, okay. Now I had parked my car right in front of the apprentice school. I got in there and he goes, $7,000. I was like, well, that's $7,000 a year. Do I get a coffee mug or anything with it? He goes, we're gonna build something so special. It's gonna be historical. We're gonna do something incredible. We're gonna give opportunities for women, not just to play basketball, but to have careers after the game. And so he started getting me really excited, and I was like, okay. I said, all right, let's do this. So as soon as I left, I went out to my car in the front. My car was towed. That's part of my check right there. I'm like, oh my gosh, okay? So going back to that, the first day we sat down, he said, let's put a philosophy together. So we sat down, and this has been my love legacy throughout my whole journey in coaching. He helped me develop that. The first one, he said, was learn. Let's talk about that. What are you trying to do? We are going to teach and reach every day. That's what you're here for. It's going to be A before B, academics for basketball. You're going to get a chance to go out there and be a sponge and just, help them grow to be strong women. I was like, okay, that's going to be my first one. I like that. And then the next one was overcome adversity. This one he talks to me all the time, Bill. Everywhere I've been, he taught me how to embrace adversity. Make it your best friend. Next play mentality. Don't get down, get up. So I wrote that down. The third one was visualize. Okay, having dreams, but you got to make sure you get your standards. You got to put everything in. You got to visualize where we're going to be the first year. We have nobody. We have no uniforms. We have nothing, right? So we got to create. We got to go recruit, all that stuff. Let's just take it slow here. And the next one I talked to him about was something I believe in: expect nothing, give everything. Because that's just who I am. The wins will come. Just give everything. Give your heart. Do it the right way. Well, I didn't realize when I wrote down the philosophy that each letter, learn, overcome, adversity, visualize, expect nothing, spelt love. You got to love what you do, and it's going to bring you to your knees sometimes, It doesn't matter. Just you got to love what you do. So he taught me that. So here's a story for you. My first recruit I thought I had, and Paul knows this, I got to go through, and he was coaching football, and I'm learning how to, recruit at the school, which is a male-dominated school, math background, all this. I thought I had this player, and she, at the last second, she just rejected me. And I was like, oh my gosh. I felt so like, ugh. I was in the other room, and I was so emotional, crying. And he goes, what are you doing in there? And I was like, well, I'm upset. She said no. And again, in this book, it's a lot about what Bill taught me. He goes, when she says no, or whatever in life, you say next. You have to be level-headed. You can't get too high. You can't get too low. You got to be that person that just takes it, and that's okay. There's somebody out there better. And I took that on that floor and won close to 450 wins, thinking that way. Don't care if you're up, down, this and that. Just stay in the moment, right? And I took that with me, and that's something he taught me that helped me be 7 Hall of Fames. I never would have been that if it wasn't for his philosophy and helping me create the person I am today. So I go on the road. We have 6 players. It's our first road trip. We have 6 players, y'all. Okay? I'm like, okay, go on the road. And we go to Bennett College. And I do bed checks. I have 1 volunteer, 6 players, 5, and everybody. I count the 5. I said, well, where's so and so? I couldn't find one of my players. I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna get fired before I even got hired. Oh my God. I called Bill up, and I'm like, Bill, I'm like, what's going on? I said, I can't find her. He goes, go check every room. He's just like trying to go do this, go do that. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I said, I have checked everywhere. I said, I don't know where she's at. I'm doing So he goes, all right, last thing, bar. I said, no way. Because, I had 2 players on my team that were 30, and I'm 22. So I walk in the bar, and I see one of my players up there. Sure enough, she's got her leg popped up, talking to some dude, and a beer about this big. I'm not talking the little beer. Hey, coach, what's going on? And I'm like, are you kidding me? Boom. You get up to, I'm 22, she's 30. You get up to your room. It's my first experience suspending somebody and getting all that. And I'm like, oh my God. So guess what? We're down to how many? 5. One of them gets in foul trouble. Guess what happens? I'm playing with how many? 4. What's my offense? Box. What's my defense? Box. That's all I kept saying was box the whole game. Because, and it was just one of those things where he invested in me, and I had to really learn a lot. Think about that. I had to learn a lot. And having Jimmy Heath come in as a sports information director, he started to see the growth, and he started to write all these stats down. And Bill was like, did you know this? You just broke a stat, and this happened, this and that happened. And I was like, he started feeling proud that we were winning. We were more than just winning. We were doing the right thing. We were winning, and we were on our way to win the first school's national championship. That's pretty impressive. Yeah. And so Katie was like, I was talking to Katie, and I talked to Bill, it was a couple weeks ago, and he was there. And it was so beautiful to hear him, because I would not be where I am today, impacting so many people, if it wasn't for Bill Casto. I wouldn't be the person. And Katie, you're the true champion. He wanted women. Yes, you are. You're the true champion. And I can sit here and tell you so many stories. Like when I was a head coach at Old Dominion, and I beat Alabama, and Bill would reach out. I head coach at Elon. I broke many records there, and he'd call me and reach out. He wasn't just a coach. It was like a father, because he knew Katie meant something to me, him. And so he poured his everything into me, as if I was his daughter too. And so I'm just so honored to be up here today. I could talk forever, And I just want to say to you guys, like, what an incredible person, and so blessed. You know, I always say success leaves footprints. He's left so many footprints in my heart. But think about all the players I've coached. I mean, I had a lot of championship stuff like that, but it's because of him. He instilled standards. I created winning cultures. I did it the right way. I did it with passion, but I stayed level-headed. I was out in the community shaking hands, high-fiving people that needed it. And he's my legend. He's my hero. So I just want to say thank you for having me come up here and tell you guys that he's forever my hero. And thank you all for being here.